Hey there, this is Jorik. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about living in Lisbon, Portugal, and what I think are, in my opinion, the top 3 overrated tourist attractions that people come to Lisbon for. And first things first, I'm going to get a lot of heat for this, and I expect a lot of probably not so nice comments because the 3 places I'm going to mention I believe are probably on everyone's top 5 list, whether it be international websites that you're going to check as well as local websites, expat websites. But it's just my opinion, and we all have differing opinions on things, and I'll explain why I think these places are a bit overrated. So first things first, the Santa Justa lift. It's a cool piece of architecture. We're taking a couple of photos as you're walking by it, so I can't say anything negative about that. It is a cool feature for sure. But where I think it's overrated is the queues and the lines. Because it shows up as a top 3 or top 5 thing to do, some of the lines in the high tourist season can be 45 minutes to an hour long. And think about it, you're waiting in line 45 minutes to an hour for a 10-second elevator ride, and it's not, the views are nice when you get to the top, but they're not incredibly amazing to where they're going to take your breath away. I don't think it's worth it from a time component because you can actually take 5 minutes, walk around to what's called the Convento do Carmo convent, which is a ruin, and that's where the Santa Justa lift empties out, and there's a little bridge there, and you can walk on the same bridge that people that take the elevator are going to walk on, and you can do that for free. So in 5 minutes, you can kind of get the same view that somebody may be waiting 45 minutes to an hour for. So if you have time and you live here, that's one thing. But if you're pressed for time and you're on holiday, you don't have a lot of time, and you really have to figure out what you want to see. Walking by and taking photos, great. Waiting 45 minutes to an hour in a queue for a 10-second ride, it to me just doesn't seem worth it. Maybe you will think otherwise, but I think that attraction's a bit overrated. There's some other things I would rather do instead, and I'll put that in another video. The second thing I'm going to get a lot of heat for is the Sao Jorge Castle, which is iconic up on a hill in Lisbon. When you are walking throughout the city, in the city center, you can see the ramparts, the walls to the castle. I will concede that there's some nice views up there. There's nothing wrong with that. The lines aren't that bad. It can be as little as walk right in to a 10 to 15 minute wait, even in the high tourist season. So that's not ridiculous. There's nothing wrong about that. But for me, the reason I think it's overrated is there's no castle. So it's the Sao Jorge Castle, but there's no castle. So if I'm going to see a castle, I want to see a castle. I don't want to see the walls or what's left of some old ruins. I want to be able to walk through rooms and see different bedrooms and living rooms and paintings and jewelry and things of that nature. So I think as long as you know what you're getting into, and you know you're not getting a castle, you're just getting walls, and you have to kind of imagine what would have been, that's one thing. But I think, again, for the amount of time that you might spend there, you might be able to spend your time more prudently doing something else. Again, if you live here, it's one thing, but again, if you're on holiday or vacation, you only have so much time to spend, and I wouldn't do it. Now, I just gave you 2 of what are going to show up in your top 3 or top 5 things of every list, and probably every list that you're going to see from anyone on Lisbon, and I'm going to throw out one that is guaranteed to be on probably the top 3 of everyone's list, and that's Tram 28. I will say again, my reasoning for that has to do with time and weight. If you are able to walk to Martin Moniz, which is where the starting point is, and get right on a tram, if you're able to wait maybe less than 10 minutes for a tram, okay, it's worth it. It's a cheap ride, and it's an easy way to get around and see a great deal of the city while you're riding. But for me, it's overrated from the standpoint that people line up early, and again, they have 45-minute, hour-long. Pre-pandemic, there was one point where we happened to walk by, and I asked, how long is the line? And they're saying it was up to 90 minutes before you got a ride. And I'm thinking, in that amount of time, how far I could walk. I could walk most of the Tram 28 line in that 90 minutes of time and probably have a drink and some gelato or something along the way. So it just didn't seem like it made sense for me to do that. And it actually, when we were here, it took us a long time to actually do the Tram 28 because we waited until there was a pandemic and there was no line. So we had basically the whole one tram to ourselves as we were going around, because it just didn't make sense to spend that kind of time waiting in line for something that it's cool to do, but you could also walk the same tram line and get a great experience. So those are my three overrateds. Two of them have to do with the amount of time versus what you're getting out of the attraction. And with the Sao Jorge Castle, you're not getting a castle with the attraction, so it just doesn't seem like something that I would do. I would pick three other places to go to, and I'll put that in an upcoming video. So I hope you enjoyed that. I expect a lot of people are going to disagree with me, and rightfully so. You may have your reasons why you love those places, and I get that. So thank you for watching, and have a great day.